eighth reason why P2B lost was the obedience movement. The obedience movement did not do P2B any good at all when it comes to this reason. And please hear me out. The obedience movement wants conformity. You guys want consensus. You guys want everyone to bow down to P2B. You guys don't even allow for any kind of dissent. You cannot afford to criticize P2B in any way at all. If we catch you criticizing P2B, we will call you names, we will curse your family, we will curse your kids, we will curse your friends. In fact, we will even block you. We will shout down names, we will call you names and make you and belittle you. We will condemn you before the public. In fact, if we had the chance to, we will flog you in public. Like this was rampant on social media. This was rampant. I went through it as well. I experienced it myself. I like to see myself as a reasonable person. That's why I know. And then when I see other people making the same argument, I'm like, you know what? I'm right. Because at some point I was like, is it just me that is experiencing this? Like, what is wrong with these guys? You cannot critique P2B again. You can't even dare. If they catch you, what they will do to you on social media, you will start saying, what did you even do? Why did you even talk in the first place? And so I don't think they did P2B any favors at all. This was a huge turn off for many people, including myself. The idea that you cannot criticize P2B, the idea that you have to conform, you have to have consensus. It is wrong. We don't want that in Nigeria. If you want that, maybe go to China, go to Russia and live. But when it comes to Nigeria, we want the ability to criticize our leaders. We want the ability to analyze them. We want the ability to it may not even be for the sake of maybe there's something wrong to criticize. Maybe just for the sake of criticizing. Let us just at least make fun of the guy. But with obedience, they wouldn't even give you chance at all. They won't give you chance at all. There was this mob mentality, this head mentality. Everyone is going, so we'll go. And let's all follow the pack. We'll go with the pack. And for someone like me who has a healthy distrust for politicians, when it comes to politicians, I don't trust them at all. It was a big put off for me. And when it happened to me, right, when I said something about P2B, that he lied. That was all I said though. P2B lied. The way they came for me, and I remember telling my friend, I was like, P2B will not win. I don't see how he wins. I don't see how this character will win him the presidency. It's not possible. And it came out to be true. And then I was seeing other people saying the same thing. Like, why can't we express ourselves? Are we living is P2B a dictator? Are we living in a country where you cannot criticize your leaders? So the obedience movement, you guys have to get this right. I don't know, you guys have to get this right. We have to constructively criticize our leaders. We have to analyze them. We have to break them down analytically. There are so many things you can point out that is wrong with P2B. There are so many things. I'm gonna make a different video about that one on why I didn't like him back then. I'm now beginning to come close to liking him now. I'm beginning to warm up to P2B because I'm seeing some reasons why, okay, this guy might be genuine. Because before I thought that P2B, when he loses, I thought that he will betray the movement and go back to being a trader. But from what I'm seeing, I'm like, wow, kudos, thumbs up. So I'm beginning to warm up to him. But back then I was like, I don't like this. I don't like what this movement is showing. I don't like this non-critique. I don't like this consensus. I don't like consensus at all. The idea that we all have to agree on one thing is wrong. You need to have disagreements. This is democracy. It is only by disagreeing that you can find solutions. When you say to people, don't criticize P2B, you're like, how will P2B get better? How will P2B get better if you can't criticize P2B? If you critique him and break him down I mean critical. I don't mean like I mean critical. If you critically analyze P2B, you can see faults, and by seeing those faults, you can tell P2B, sir, you made these mistakes here, so and so place when you are governor of Anambra State. Please, when you become president, don't make the same mistakes again. So I believe that was one of the reasons why P2B lost the election. The lack of critique, the fact you weren't allowed to analyze P2B, the fact that if you dare to criticize P2B, people will call you names. In fact, at some point, I even self-censored. I just went quiet. I was like, I can't have this. It's too much. No matter how tough I am or how thick-skinned I am, I'm like, no, this is, I can't even. In fact, sometimes I was gonna make it. Sometimes I'll try to make a post. I'll be like, I just forget about it. Like, this is, I don't want to get too much pushback, so I'll just leave it alone. So people that would have shown, some people that would have given some wise ideas or some points or said some things, you're forcing them to self-censure. And and that's not how you build movements. You want as much as possible integrate everyone. You want to build a movement that accommodates everybody. You don't want to just have your own camp on your own. How will you build Nigeria if you're just only obedient? How about the articulators? How about the Baptists? How about those? How are you gonna integrate those guys into your leadership or into your movements? Because you need them as well. You need the Baptists, the Tinubu supporters. You need the articulators, the Atiku fans. You need them as obedience. You need everyone needs to be pulling together for Nigeria to succeed. It's not just all about you. No. I understand obviously the grievances. I understand the fact that we are tired. However, we cannot let our emotions cloud our judgments. We cannot let the fact that that your friend is a Baptist, that cannot be the reason why you block him. It's not possible. I mean, it says a lot about you if you can block your friend because he's an Atiku supporter. It says a lot about you than him or her. For you to block your friend just because he's supporting Atiku or Tinubu, I'm sorry, something is wrong with you. Because you don't have the ability to think critically. You don't have the ability to take a step back and be like, you know what? Maybe there's a reason why this guy is supporting Tinubu. Let me try to find out why. Let me try to listen. Maybe I can learn something. Let me just conclude on this issue of the last reason. Not the last reason, really. I'll get to the last reason soon on why P2B lost in this part 2. I always tell myself this: know the enemy, know your enemy. How will you know your enemy if you can't study your enemy, or read your enemy, or at least befriend your enemy? You're not gonna know your enemy then. And if you don't know your enemy, how will you defeat him? If you don't know Tinubu or know Atiku, or if you go and block them, how will you defeat them? How will you come to understand them and then offer solutions on how to defeat them? It's not possible. You have to know them and you have to read them. You have to understand. You have to draw them close. And when you draw them close, you can be like, okay, this is how I'm going to defeat you come election day. This is how I'm going to win you guys. But when you push them out far, when you try to belittle them and curse them, then too will be like, you know what? We don't even need you guys anymore. What opportunities are you guys wants? So on this issue, I'm sorry I went on and on. And forgive me if you think that maybe I'm saying nonsense, but each man to their own. Let me know what you think. The further reason why obviously P2B lost is electoral malpractice, rigging, violence. All of this you can couple all of this into one: electoral malpractice. Obviously, this election was rigged. It's obvious. Anyone that tries to be blind to that, they're lying to themselves. This election was obviously rigged. In my opinion, I believe that P2B won this election. I'm not saying this as a P2B supporter back before the election. I'm saying I've said this in this video in part 1 already, that I wasn't a supporter of P2B before the election, but now I'm beginning to warm up to him. So my point is that from what I've seen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna try to paint it or massage it. No, this election was rigged in favor of Tinubu. People like Governor Wike of Rivers State put their hand on the scale for Tinubu. People like, is it in Kaduna State, for example, in Kogi State, for example, and what other states? Those guys put their hand on the scale for Tinubu or for Atiku in any case. In some cases, or in most cases, you could see that P2B was winning. There was no upload to IRF. There was no use of beavers. The INEC did not abide by her own rules to upload elections via IRF and via beavers. And so this election was open to rigging and to electoral malpractice and violence. And so the final reason why P2B lost was because he was rigged out of this election. That doesn't mean that all the other points I raised didn't play a part or play a role. They did. But I think it would be dishonest to say that he wasn't rigged out of this election. From everything we saw on social media, even from the mere facts that INEC did not keep to her own rules, even from that mere fact alone, has shown to the whole world that this election did not keep to the fate of Nigerians.